This isn't Violi Nation, but it is Polillo Nation. Here on the Calcio Guys, Gianni Del Colli, Adriano Donardo, I'm Nicholas Di Giovanni, and joining us again from Milan Weekly Podcast, Steve Polillo. Steve, how's it going?
Guys, very, very good. It's been one of those strange evenings.
to say the very least.
Lots to talk about. Obviously, Italy's a big story. Another playoff, another year, another playoff. Everybody has agita now because of what we went through against Sweden. Even worse this time, it's one game knockouts. So they're gonna have to win two 1-game knockouts. Opponent yet to be decided at the end of March. A lot of negativity going around on Twitter for the European champions. I don't even know where to start. Let's just start with the roundtable. Steve, we'll start with you. Just give us your thoughts about the two games: the tie against Switzerland, tie against Northern Ireland, and just, I guess, the overall qualification for Italy in this World Cup qualifying, finishing second again.
Yeah, so with Italy following them after the Euros, I think they started, the qualification for the World Cup in Qatar very well. They went on that unbeaten streak. We were riding the wave of the Euro, and I guess it's a bit of timing there. There's always that downer that comes in, and could it have come at the worst time? It came at the worst time. So there was a lack of inspiration, I think, guys. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I saw so many of the players with such a different attitude from the high that we rode in the Euros, and just the body language for these qualification matches after the Euro in general was just not enough, right? And we saw it in the Nations League final against Spain, where I guess the red card for Bonucci did change a little bit of the match, but there was nothing there. It was like, it's another game. Okay, we lost this win streak, and then focus turned to the games that we needed to win, to secure spot 1 of our group, to go to Qatar, and to have from November to whenever the World Cup starts as a grace period for them to start tweaking things, start having a little bit less pressure, start thinking about what they want to do for Qatar. But instead, we had, the games that we'll talk about, Swiss and Northern Ireland, that didn't do themselves any favors, and now we're stuck in this playoff debacle, if you want to call it.
No, it's well said, and it's just, I guess everybody's in the same boat in terms of how we're feeling and how pissed off we were after the Northern Ireland game, seeing the Swiss put a beat down on Bulgaria. Just the fact that we couldn't score, I think, was obviously the biggest talking point. Besides going into this international break with so many players injured, that wasn't a secret. Did it show on the pitch? Yeah, maybe. I still think we could have gotten the job done. There's no doubt about that. I still think the quality of players that we have is players that can make a difference. Unfortunately, like Steve said, the lack of inspiration, the lack of, and I think it was Milan Legends, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, that lost the eye of the tiger analogy. I think he's the one who used it. And you know what? I kind of put some truth to that, because going into the Euros, they had something to prove, and they had obviously the disappointment that we don't want to speak about, but the 2018 World Cup was obviously the biggest disappointment in Italian football history, probably, arguably, and they had something to prove. The country went through the ringer with the whole pandemic, so there was really something to fight for and something to really prove, and I think they kind of lost that twinkle and that spark near the end of the qualification period for Qatar, which is sad, because like Steve said, and we were lucky enough to be together for some of the games at Ciucciaro's here in the East End of Montreal, watching these games and just the atmosphere and just the aura of the Euros was just incredible. And now we come to this that, we didn't want to come to. Again, another playoffs, and it's a bit tricky this time around, like Nick said. And I don't know. I just think it's I don't know if it's we're gonna go into it later, but if it's tactics, if it's player selection, formation, we can all say these things, but at the end of the day, there was no fire, and it for me it showed from the Swiss game into the Northern Ireland game. Guys, we couldn't even score one goal against Northern Ireland, and I don't want to knock Northern Ireland, but I'm sorry, if you're not going to score one goal against Northern Ireland, what are you going to do in come whatever November, December at Qatar against top nations? It's not the same Italy that we saw from the summer, and I think another thing is we kind of have to maybe close that book and close that chapter of Euro 2020 champions and move on a bit, because we're still clinging on to that, and look where it brought us to where we are today, speaking on a Wednesday evening here in the cold Montreal weather, and we're a bit disappointed with our.
It's not that cold.
It's a little chilly.
There's no snow. It's not that cold.
It's a little chilly, but it's coming. But just to say, guys, it's I think close that chapter and really focus on the World Cup. I think fans are I don't know, falling into that stigma that, okay, we're gonna qualify. I'm pretty sure Nick was the only one that said, guys, it hasn't happened yet. If it happens, not like when it happens, So it's one of those things. But Johnny, I don't know if you had anything else to
add. I think one of my favorite sayings from hockey, I know I give 1,000,001 NHL references and whatever, the term Stanley Cup hangover. I think that's basically what applies to Italy right now. You win a championship, you have that pressure and relief off your shoulders, because going into the Euros, we were discussing many times how this is a group that has a chip on their shoulder because they got screwed over by Ventura. They know they're better than they actually are. They know that they're capable of bringing it when they need to. And they did that, and they delivered. They won a major title, pretty much Italy's second European trophy since it's the first one since '68. So and that one basically just was a very simple one to win. This one was a legitimately earned Euro Cup trophy. So I think because of all of that, it just accumulated into saying that, yeah, we did that, and now it's that weight's no longer there. But there's also no pressure there. So now it's okay, well, we have our leagues to focus on. We have our league teams. But national team, I know that they say that they do want to win the World Cup. Obviously, players going into a national team, they do want to win. It'd be foolish to say no athlete goes into a team just to float. I mean, there probably are, but more often than not, they're not there to float. They're there to actually play games, win, and make a name for themselves. And you make a name for yourself by winning. But right now, from what they're doing, it's embarrassing. I think it's just that. I think that hunger to win is gone. Just to summarize what I'm saying, I think that that with that title win, they're feeling as if they can just they can leave their foot off the gas for a bit, and it's starting to show. I think there needs to be a little bit of a change up. Mind you, I know a lot of key players have been injured. Not having Immobile sucks. Not having Spinazzola for a while sucks. But Chiellini too, killing him, a big player in the back line. But just a side point, I think I don't think the blame really falls on the defensive end of things. I feel as if the defense was okay enough during these past few games. It was mostly the mid and the offense that was just completely lacking for us. But we're going to get to that later. But overall, just to summarize things, as I said before, there's no drive for this team right now, and they need to find a way to dig down deep and find motivation to play for that World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I think exactly what the three of you guys just said. It's all in here. It's all in the head. It's all, Jenny, as you said time and time again, when their backs are against the wall, that's when they perform best. 2006, 2021, and then they get ahead of themselves.
Also,
as
82.
We saw here.
Also 82. Don't forget 82 from the scandal in the 80s.
And
the first culture.
Exactly.
There you
Now
go.
they get ahead of themselves and they can't get it done. So I hope they put their backs up against the wall, whoever they face in the semis. Even look at the results since the Belgium game. 9 games played, they've only won 2 within the 90 minutes against Lithuania 5-0, and the third place game against Belgium. 6 draws. So I said 9 games. Yeah, 6 draws and the loss against Spain. A lot of draws, just lack of goal scoring. Exactly what you guys said.
Those draws, like the Bulgaria draw, killer.
Yeah.
The draw
Yeah.
against Switzerland at Switzerland, killer. Like, you got to take points from that. You had to close the group. Mancini said it. We had to close the group earlier. If you look at Italy's points compared to the ones of the teams that qualified, we were very low. Now, again, for me, one of the things that I wanted to bring up, and I'm happy that you guys got me on, because it's too long to talk on Twitter. These people are crazy. They don't. 180 characters not enough. But I'm not making excuses for Italy. But I think they should bring back that formula because these players play a lot. Now, you winning the Euro has to give you some sort of benefit. That benefit should be an automatic entry to the World Cup. The Euro champion should be there. And I'm talking Euro, Copa America. You want to increase the teams? Let's give them, you won the Euro, you're the European champion, we want you at the World Cup. You do not fall in one of the qualification groups. Figure out a way to be in form and come. It used to be like that with the Champions League. You win the Champions League, you're in the Champions League. Why is that gone? So what, besides money, what is the, and money and pride, what's the benefit of winning the Euro? You just went the furthest you can to win the Euro, and now you have to re-qualify for the World Cup, but you're the European champion. And I'm saying this not only for because it's Italy. This should be for anybody. So anybody who wins, Nick, anybody who wins the Euro, and same thing with the World Cup. Once you win the World Cup, well, you're the World Cup. If you're from Europe, automatic entry into the Euros. If you're from South America, automatic entry to, Copa America in South America. There has to be some benefits for that country, and especially for the amount of games that they play. That's going to make them want to play more.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, Steve, was it like that at one point? Because I know for Canada, the only time they made the World Cup in '86 was because they won the Gold Cup, and that's what the qualification was. Was it ever like that for UEFA?
I think in '86 is because Mexico was the host. So the host gets the automatic bid, right? And I agree. That's okay. Like, if you're the host, guys, we're doing it in Italy, and Italy is not going to be in the World Cup. That's a bit defeats the purpose. The host, they get the entry spots. There's so many teams now. They're at 30-something. They want to go to 64. Like, we'll talk about it. I know you wanted to talk about Canada. But, guys, if you look, and I'm just going to throw it out there.
By the way, Canada only won one Gold Cup. Only one, not 2.
Yeah. So, we're going to talk about it after, but I'm of the thing that I'm happy for Canada, but look at the CONCACAF group. 4 of those teams are going to make it. Hopefully Canada included. They're nowhere close to the level of other teams. And, people, today going back and forth with Jan told me, but there's Northern Ireland and there's Bulgaria. They're not as good. I understand. There's also 10 times the amount of teams. In the CONCACAF, I think they're 8.
Yeah.
Or 10.
Yeah, 8, yeah.
Whatever they are. But if you look at that division of CONCACAF, 4 of those teams are going to make it to the World Cup. So that's 50% of the teams that can qualify. And if you look at Europe, I'm not the best in math, but if you look quickly, it's not 50% of the European teams. You're not going to have Haaland in the World Cup. He's probably one of the best players now. He plays for Norway. you might not have CR7 in the World Cup, one of the best players to grace this past 2 decades, because Portugal is in a playoff, and we're going to bring in, no offense, but let's say whoever finishes fourth in the CONCACAF, Panama. There's a problem, guys. There's something wrong with the system here. The World Cup for me has to be the best teams in the world. And a qualification where, however it goes, the best teams, especially a team who wins a major tournament, needs to be in that tournament.